Hello, gamers. Today's character class is for those of you who like to play Necromancers. Necromancer? Wait. Hey, John, didn't you already put that in the series here? Yes, I did. That was Necromancer as a character class, which is a thing we do in the LOFT project. It is put out by Old School Essentials in their free PDF, their 10th anniversary PDF, where they did a free character class. It's earlier in this series, and it's Necromancer as a class. What we're talking about with Necromancers today is the Glantrian secret craft of necromancy, which would stack if you took both of them. Or you could mix and match. You could make magic user, or mage, or sorcerer, or illusionist, or whatever arcane caster class into your basic class and take Glantrian necromancer as your secret craft. So let's take a look at the secrets of necromancy that the Glantrians have discovered. Now, as I've said before, when I've kind of described what these secret crafts are and the lore and how they work, there are 7 ancient secret societies in Mystara that are these days, in the modern time of the game setting, headquartered in Glantrian, and they are... A lot of them go back to pacts that were made between the first generations of mages in the first age of Mystara. So arrangements with dragons for the Dracologists, and so forth. So there are arrangements that were made between the original mage necromancers in the first age of Mystara and death itself, or the gods of death that existed at the time, which may or may not be the same gods of death that exist now. The gods that exist now may have a different opinion, but it's too late. The world's already been created and the rules have already been set. So let's take a look at what the necromancers can do. At the first circle of Glantrian necromancy, a Glantrian necromancer can invoke protection from undead. So this is a theme that you've probably picked up on if you've listened to a few of these secret crafts. They don't all have it, because there isn't really one that applies to alchemy, for example. But Dracologists, their first circle ability is protection from dragons. Elementalists, their first circle ability is protection from elementals and the elements. So the first circle ability for Glantrian necromancers is protection from undead, and it works the same way. It invokes this ancient pact, and as long as the necromancer does not attack the undead, does not interfere with the undead. You can't even heal your party if your party's fighting the undead. So or all bets are off. But if protection from undead is invoked and it's intact, the magic user, the necromancer, whoever's the secret circle of Glantrian necromancer in the group, they could, perhaps there's more than one, but they could, the whole party could be in this necropolis of nasty undead trying to kill them. Suck their souls, turn them undead, whatever. There's worse things than just being killed, especially when it comes to undead. And the whole party could be wiped around them, but the undead would not be able to harm a Glantrian necromancer who's invoked protection from undead. All right, and I always found it interesting as a fan that this kind of ability, this kind of rationalization, would be invoked about, maybe 8-9 years later, when 2nd edition Planescape came out for the Dustmen. So, because they have a very similar arrangement with the gods of death. But, not every idea is original. Ideas get recycled, especially when it comes to our favorite game. Second circle necromancy allows a Glantrian necromancer to control undead. And they can control a number of hit dice of undead equal up to their level. So if you were a 12th level Glantrian necromancer, you could control up to 12 hit dice of undead. Like 12 one-hit dice skeletons, or 3 4-hit die wraiths, anything that added up to 12. Or, some combination, 6 2-hit die zombies. This lasts until the next full moon, at which time all controlled undead are released and cannot be controlled again until the following dawn. So if you've got intelligent undead, you might want to make nice with them so that they stay loyal. The control goes out to 24 miles distance, And that seems like an odd number. Why 24? Well, I think it comes down to the standard hex sizes in on hex maps in the old days were multiples of 6. 6, 12, 24, stuff like that. So I think that's why it seems to be an odd number, because it's a multiple of 6. I think it's a relationship to the old school hex maps. And if need be, a necromancer can always specify which creatures they control and which they do not, because and I've seen necromancers over the years take advantage of this, because if there's undead that are controlling other undead, like let's say you had a vampire necromancer, the vampire themselves was a necromancer and they had other undead under their control, then if you control the vampire, you can control their minions through them, and so you can game this. Here's the scary thing for that vampire that's serving under you, though. Is the necromancer may destroy any undead under their control at any time by dismissing their soul. However, the creature must be in the necromancer's presence. The power can also be used as a cleric's turning ability, but does not require a religious holy symbol. Then the third circle ability is Create Undead. So this is where a Glantrian necromancer, begins compiling a Book of the Dead. Kind of like, so they'll have an extra book in addition to their spell book. Kind of like the Glantrian alchemist ends up with an alchemy codex as an extra book other than their spell book. And in the next video, we'll get into the Glantrian rune master, and they'll end up with a book of runes in addition to their regular spell book. But the Glantrian necromancer, they start getting formulas for creating undead, including but way beyond what normal magic users can make with the Animate Dead spell. So yeah, skeletons and zombies are there, just like the regular Animate Dead spell, but so's everything. Particular examples here in the text include wights, vampires, wraiths, haunts, phantoms, and spirits. So, a Glantrian necromancer can just make a vampire. Now, a body is necessary for corporeal undead, so you'd need to have a body to make a vampire. But only a portion of a body is required for immaterial undead that are non-corporeal, like your wraith and your phantom and stuff. Created undead are permanent and cannot be dispelled, except for skeletons and zombies. So this is pretty awesome. A Glantrian necromancer can just kind of, in their lab, can sort of be an undead factory, just churn them out. At the fourth circle of Glantrian necromancy is Raise Dead. Now, this is like an ability that they are very, very proud of, because this really shows that they are masters not just of undeath, but of death, because they can bring someone back alive. They don't have to bring someone back from death as a rotting, nasty, undead thing. They can bring someone back completely well, with their heart pumping, breathing air in their lungs, with their blood flowing, totally normal. If they're of reproductive age, being able to have children. I mean, completely alive in every sense. And that just shows their complete mastery over death, which, is whether they ever do it or not in their career, whether they ever, it's badass. Okay. That it just shows, that they're that good in terms of being masters of death. The fifth and final circle ability for Glantrian necromancy, I have always thought was very anticlimactic. It's Attain Lichdom, which I always thought was stupid, because that's something that regular high-level mages can try to do anyway. I mean, ever since the first edition Monster Manual 1, where it talks about the Lich, and it explains what a Lich is and how high-level magic users can try to do that to themselves. Like, you don't have to be a Glantrian necromancer to do that. So, I always thought it was kind of an anticlimactic waste to make that the power. But it's there. I mean, it kind of fits and everything. I'm not gonna, reach in with my DM, modding toolkit and change it. It's all right. I don't have to like everything about the game equally well. And so, yeah, that's, And of course, to gain that fifth, and of course, there's other benefits to being the fifth circle necromancer, because there can be only one. You know, that means that that you're in charge of the whole secret society and everything. So that's the Glantrian Necromancer. Tomorrow we will get into the Glantrian Rune Master, and we are almost all the way through our 7 secret crafts of Glantry. So Necromancy here is the 5th one we've gone through, and Rune Mastery will be number 6. So we will see you tomorrow in that regard, and in the meantime, I'll see you around the gaming table.